Hey guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to be going over how I got this super glam prom look. So if you want to see how to get it with all drugstore products, then just keep on watching. Moisturizing is key, so we are starting out with dry skin cream from Dollar General and then using the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer as our base. A pea-sized amount is all you need, and that's going to do your whole face. So I like to start out in the center of my face because that is my worst areas, and then whatever's left, I blend it over the rest of the face. I like to give that a few seconds to soak in, and then I'm going to go straight into my foundation. And today I'm using the NYX Total Control drops. As you can see, I'm using quite a few drops here just because I want super full coverage, but you absolutely do not have to go this heavy. I just feel like for prom, why not? And then to blend it in, I'm taking this blending brush from ULTA. This does a really awesome job at helping really blend it seamlessly into the skin. And then once I have got it blended all over the face, I will take my Real Technique sponge that is dampened and continue to blend it out. I find this to be extremely useful because once you have all of it blended out, you know for sure that you're not going to have extra product on there, so it's not going to get all cakey on you. And then I'm taking the Hard Candy Glamouflage Concealer. This has been one of my favorite concealers from the drugstore for years. It is very full coverage and a little bit goes a long way. I'm using this a few shades lighter than my foundation just for extra brightening on the under eyes and the forehead. And then I'm also going to be taking it along the jawline, which is something I don't normally do. But again, this is prom, so we are being extra. And then I'm just using my Real Technique sponge again to blend this out and make sure there are no harsh edges anywhere. You always want to blend it out, but where your concealer is going to be lighter than your foundation, you want to pay extra attention to it. And then I'm taking my airspun and I'm going to bake the under eyes and make sure there are no creases and make sure it doesn't crease later on either. And when I apply my airspun, I don't like to tug on my skin or make any crazy faces. I just try to look up so that there are no lines on my under eyes because I have really wrinkly under eyes and it's always been a problem for me. So I just make sure to look up as much as I can, and that's going to help keep the creases away. And then I always set around my nose to keep it from getting oily because that's a place that is trouble for me, and then I like to set anywhere else that I put my concealer. For brows, I found this City Color Bold Brow Duo. This was sitting in my drawer and I haven't used it in a while, and I forgot how much I actually liked it. So I'm taking the darker shade and an angled brush. It has a spoolie on one end, and I've used that to brush through my brows. And then I'm taking the e.l.f. Clear Brow Gel and just using it to set them in place. Then I'm taking what was left on my eyelids from the concealer and I'm using that to clean up the brows. And this is also going to be our eyeshadow primer. And I'm just setting all that in place with some Airspun translucent powder and baking the under eyes again just to catch any fallout from our eyeshadow. Then I'm taking this Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette and I'm using the gray shade as my transition shade. I'm going over it first with just a blending brush, then I'm taking the brown shade and putting that into the crease, and then I'm going to follow through with the blending brush again just to make sure that everything blends because we want it to be as seamless as possible. Then I'm taking the black shade on an even smaller brush and I'm using this to pack it into the outer corner of the eye. This is going to add some definition and drama. And then one more time we're going to go over it with our blending brush again just to make sure it's very seamless. And yeah, moving on to the eyelid. So we're just going to take some concealer. I'm using, again, that Hard Candy concealer, and we're going to kind of cut this crease. So what I'm doing is taking the color and adding it to the lid, and then I'm going to look up because that's where it's going to go to anyways. So I'm just kind of helping it get there a little faster. And then I'm just going to start smoothing out that edge with the brush. This is a very creamy, easy to work with concealer, so I find it works really well for this. And then I'm going to take my fingertips and blend out the edges so that it's not just like a harsh line. Then I'm going to take this Milani single eyeshadow. I got this actually from Dollar Tree not long ago. I don't know if you can still find them there or not, but if you can, they are awesome and they had so many colors. So I'm just taking a very dense brush and using it to pack that color over the top of the concealer while it is still good and wet. This is why I only do one eye at a time. Then I'm taking the darkest shade that we used, not the black, but the darkest brown, and I'm using it to go over the edge of the eyeshadow where it meets the light and the dark shadow. And then I'm just going to go ahead and buff away that bake and get rid of any fallout that we had and start working on the lower lash line. So to work on the lower lash line, I'm taking the darkest brown that we used and I'm applying it first with a kind of more fluffy brush, and then I'm going over it with a pencil brush in the black shade, and then I'm taking a black eyeliner and going into the upper and lower waterline. Then to make our wing, I'm using a liner brush in the e.l.f. gel liner. This is one of my favorite gel liners that's on the market. And we're just going to create a semi-dramatic wing. You can make it as dramatic as you like. I'm not really one to go super dramatic with a wing, so just any size wing is pretty much dramatic for me. For the face, I wanted to keep it fairly simple, so I'm taking a very light contour shade. This is from the dollar store, actually. It's very affordable, and I'm just going to lightly contour the cheekbones and around the forehead. I'm not really one to contour the nose, but if you feel like doing that, you go right ahead. And then I'm taking the Master Chrome Rose Gold highlighter from Maybelline, and I'm going over the cheekbones. This is one of the most gorgeous highlights that I have ever seen in my life. It looks wet. And then as always, I'm running it down the nose as well. Then for blush, I'm taking this like deep rose color and I'm applying it very lightly to the apples of the cheeks. And unfortunately, even though I was being super careful, I still overdid it. You guys, I'm not a blush person no matter what I do. But a little airspun took care of it and helped me blend it back down to life. So then I'm taking my absolute favorite drugstore mascara and applying some lipstick and setting spray, and we are done. Alright, you guys, and this is the finished look. I really hope that this helped you guys out. This is a super affordable look. I mean, anything in your collection is going to work out really well for you. You can do whatever with whatever. Just make the most of whatever you have, and the most important thing is to make sure you have an awesome prom night. So stay safe, you guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!